What is up, everybody? We are here. We're in the house, and guess what? It is the most magical time of year. Everybody says that it's. Dude, I got this playing twice in my ear. It's driving me nuts. There we go. Everybody says that
Dude, I do that all the time.
all the time, dude. I can't. You can't just power through. You have to shut it off. Everybody, make sure you have 7 different copies of this same YouTube show open so you can experience the magic that was going on in my ears right now. But guess what, everybody? It is the most magical time of year. Everybody says that it's Christmas. Not true. Even though there is football and Christmas, not quite the same as Thanksgiving. And just to one up Christmas a little bit, Howard, they added on a Black Friday game too. So we got an extra game on Friday, 4 games over the next 2 days. And just to make sure that we still have a full slate on Sunday, no bye weeks. They crammed them all into week 12 and week 14. The algorithm that we trust, Amazon Cloud, whatever it is that figures out what's best for us as football fans, they've jammed us up this week with a ton of awesome football. So I'm fired up. And this actually isn't your last stream before the week because Howard Bender and John and Pemba, they love you guys. They care about you guys. Yes, you do care. I know you try and be Mr. Cool, Mr. Tough Guy. You do care about the Fantasy Alarm family. So there is going to be one more show tomorrow morning, but today is the big one. A lot of people traveling, a lot of people moving. Get your questions in the chat. Howard, how fired up are you for Thanksgiving, brother?
I mean, listen, man, I love Thanksgiving. You know, it's obviously a holiday dedicated solely to eating. I'm in on that one there as well. And as I've preached before, the Fantasy Alarm family, that is my family. So happy to do it. John and Pemba and I will be, I think we're doing it at like 10 or 10:30. First game, the Lions-Bears game, that starts at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. So John and I will have everything kind of locked down for the hour right before that because we need Wednesday practice reports. I'm getting so many questions, and there's so many players right now who are banged up, questionable. We don't know what's going on. Is David Montgomery going to get a full snap share on Thursday? Romeo Doubs dealing with a concussion. He's probably going to be out for Thursday. Then we're looking at other things like, is Darnell Mooney's hamstring going to be okay? What's his situation going to be? How much work is Isaiah Pacheco going to get versus Kareem Hunt on Friday? And the problem is that we have to make these decisions now, right? I mean, with three games on Thursday and one on Friday, you're going to have to make a lot of those decisions early on. And that's why we're going to do this extra stream here because, we don't have practice reports in right now. We're going to make sure that we get you guys all 100% covered, smothered and covered. How about that? Smothered and covered in Thanksgiving deliciousness.
I love that. I love it. So before we get to that, I just want to ask you, Howard, did you add anybody off waivers? It was kind of more of a tune-up week, but there were guys out there. For instance, I added Gus Edwards in the league where he was still floating around. And I'm actually going to start him in that league. So I had just had a bunch of fab and I kind of unloaded it. I was like, you know what? I got a starting running back for this week, maybe next week. Give me that. Give me that. And then I also added Nick Westbrook-Ikhine because I'm going to chase touchdowns like a sucker. Let's go.
Yeah, but I mean, Ikhine got a great matchup. Like this week, he's got a great matchup. Next week, he's got
the rest of the season.
Jaguars.
Rest of the season, he's got a great matchup.
You might as well. I mean, listen, we've talked about this, right? The two wide receivers who I was looking at, I said to everybody, do not drop these guys because they've got not only value here during Thanksgiving, but they've also got value in week 14 when 6 more teams are on a bye. That being obviously NWI and MVS, right? So if you've got a wide receiver whose monogram looks like an eye chart at the doctor's office, you want to hold on to him.
Lock him in. I mean, one of my must starts this week is JSN. Anybody rocking with the 3 initials right now is cooking. CMC, get them all. Are there even any bad players with the 3 initials? Just get them going. Maybe CEH, but everybody else cooking right now. So get them in there. Did you add anybody?
I did. You know what? I added Jeremy McNichols. We know that the Washington Commanders, they just signed Chris Rodriguez off the practice squad again to bring him up, which tells me that they are not confident that Austin Eckler is going to play. He's dealing with a concussion, another concussion. And then Brian Robinson Jr. left with the ankle issue. He tried to come back. It didn't work out for him. So them bringing Chris Rodriguez in there tells me that they're worried about one, possibly even both of their starters, which puts Jeremy McNichols in a decent spot. And then, in the realm of just looking at guys who got dropped last week, I found Alexander Mattison. I have like 80% of my leagues all have waivers running tonight. So in the few leagues that I have that they ran last night, I saw Mattison available. And I was like, listen, yes, Amir Abdul is going to have a role, but they're already talking about Mattison. He just put in a limited practice on Tuesday. They're talking about him being at practice on Wednesday. And if that's the case, Madison's going to be on the field on Friday. So it's not just about having him available to you right now. It's also about having him available to you as a starting running back come week 14.
Yes. And we'll joke at times about, the people that go overboard with the metrics and the people that go overboard with the eye test. But when those things come together for these players, that's when, you see the teams and everybody on the same page and the movement goes that way. It was going that way with Chase Brown. It was going that way with Tank Bigsby, with Bucky Irving, with Tyrone Tracy. And if you've been watching any of these games, they've been kind of brutal, but Alexander Mattison has been the best back on the team. There's no doubt about it. Zamir White cannot catch the football. Everybody in the stadium knows it when he goes in the game, right? So they just pack the box up. And Amir Abdullah, as much as we like his attitude, and as much as we like him as a player, like he'll never be more than a James White type guy. Like you just can't run him between the tackles. So Alexander Mattison has been the best guy on the team. And we try and grab those guys because at the end of the day, they realize like we got to give the ball to Bucky Irving. We got to give the ball to Tank Bigsby. They're the ones getting it done. So you got to scoop those guys up. I'm fully with you on that. So yeah, kind of thin, but there's a lot of moves to be made. One other one that I wanted to just recommend is that if you haven't taken a look at next week yet, right, check out the quarterback situations. There's not a lot of great things out there, but Will Levis, just like we said with NWI, has a great matchup, and he has a great matchup the rest of the way. So if you have one of those fringe quarterbacks where when they have a bad matchup, you actually think to yourself, wait a second, am I really going to start this guy against the Broncos or against some of these tough matchups? If you have one of those guys, Will Levis does not have a single bad matchup the rest of the way. So he can always be slotted in there. Anyway, why don't we hit some questions in the chat? Let's hit the ones that for the people that got in real early, the true super fam. Everyone here is fam, but we got some people that know if they want their questions answered to get them in before the show starts. If you hit like and subscribe and throw those notifications on, then you can get in here as early as Joshua K did. I don't know what time this question came in, but it was hours ago. Joshua K, happy Thanksgiving Eve. I'm so thankful for the fam, Howard and Coop. Hope everyone has a safe, fun, and relaxing Thanksgiving. We have a lot to be thankful for. Let's win some money. So, damn, not even a question there. I should have read it ahead. That's just a really cool comment. Rod Elliott with the happy Thanksgiving, and he has the first question. Start Kincaid this week or Disley? And Howard, I know you have some thoughts on Kincaid. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't really understand, I mean, I haven't seen him, back at practice and that he's good to go. And we're waiting to see. Here's the thing. Kincaid wasn't exactly lighting it up for us beforehand. What makes us think that he's going to light it up for us again? Devondre Campbell, Fred Warner. It's not a great matchup for the Bills on that front. I mean, it's a much better situation for guys like Khalil Shakir and Amari Cooper. So, I look at Will Disley in this matchup here that he's got. And you know what? I'll tell you what, man, against the Atlanta Falcons, without even seeing DVOA numbers, you know that there's middle of the field potential for the Chargers passing attack, right? I mean, again, no J.K. Dobbins, puts Gus Edwards as their featured back. Maybe Kimani Vidal gets a little bit of extra work in this one here, but this is going to be a game where I could definitely see Justin Herbert kind of taking over, making those passes. So, listen, McConkey, phenomenal hands. Disley, reliable. Quentin Johnson's trash.
Quentin Johnson.
He's dead to me. He's dead to me. Quentin Johnson's dead to me.
Crazy. And Josh Palmer, man, boy, can he draw a deep defensive pass interference, but that doesn't get us any fantasy points. So not really helping us out much there. I'm fully with you.
I have an animal. So you just continue.
I got you, buddy. Yeah.
Situation here.
With folks out here, here we get some meowing going on, dude. This is a veterinarian show, but I'll tell you, with guys like Dalton Kincaid and a lot of these players, we want to jump out to best case scenario with talent. A lot of times we say, oh, this guy's talented, I have to start him. People did that with TJ Hawkinson and a couple of those weeks.
Sorry about that.
Everything all right there at the zoo, brother? Yes. Well, what I'm saying is that people want to jump out and then chase talent when we need the snaps first. We need TJ Hawkins to actually play. We need Dalton Kincaid to actually play. First, you get the snaps, then you get the targets, and then talent wins out. So until we see him come back, I mean, they have multiple tight ends. And I'll tell you what, with this team, I think the Bills, basically what they did is they said, hey, you know what? We're putting too many of our eggs in this Stephon Diggs basket. We lose every year when he doesn't show up. Let's not do that now. I think they want to spread the ball out. They don't have a single player right now on pace for 100 targets. They like mixing and matching with Khalil Shakir and Amari Cooper and Keon Coleman and Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox and all these guys. So like I don't even think they want it to be that way where it's just one guy getting everything. So I'm with you. Go with Disley there. Rod also asks, is Deontay Johnson droppable now for a guy like Noah Brown? Well, Deontay Johnson played 6 snaps. So he played less snaps. I don't know why his snaps are going down. So like you can't go for a guy like that. Trade question: Puka, Chase, DK, Debo, Adams. Tight ends are Kincaid and Disley. Trade Puka for Kittle in the 2nd round pick. There's a keeper league, but it's keep 3 only.
I mean, I think you're not really getting that kind of a great tight end upgrade here going to Kittle. We've kind of cited this before. If you were listening to Coop last week, the week before, was talking about the fact that Christian McCaffrey, when he was out, vacated like 100 targets, and that was being made up for by Kittle, by Juwan Jennings. Now you're looking at McCaffrey being back. We don't know the situation with Brock Purdy's shoulder right now. Is it going to be, is he going to be able to play? Is it going to be Brandon Allen? I'm sorry, my bad. I mean, I know Kittle caught that touchdown this past week, but are we really looking at a dynamic upgrade here to give somebody Puka Nacua, who is, I think he's just an absolutely, fantastic wide receiver. And if you're starting 3 wide receivers here, Puka, Chase, DK, I'd be all in on that one there. Why don't you trade Debo? Why don't you trade Devontae Adams? Those are the guys I'm looking to move.
Right, because that guy's just going to keep Puka, and that's a 1st round pick. And again, I don't like trading for picks in leagues like this unless I'm losing. Like if you're playing to win now, play to win now. Don't take picks. Like don't make your team worse and trade for picks. That's crazy talk. So stick with what you got. CG says half point per completion. Geno or Purdy if he plays.
Well, then, I mean, obviously it's Geno. I mean, this dude throws 35 to 40 times a game. And, Purdy's going to probably, with the shoulder issue, probably going to have to lean on McCaffrey a little bit more. So if it's a half point per completion, I'm going with the guy who I know is chucking the football all over the place.
Absolutely. 100%. And then he has another one, PPR flex, Tillman, Addison, Worthy, Ertz, Eckler. We're still waiting for Tillman to clear concussion protocol. So that one's tough, but I think it would be Tillman if everyone were completely healthy and cleared. I think it would be Tillman, right?
Yeah, and he's got the Monday night game, so you've got a couple of days that you can kind of check this out. Eckler's not going to clear concussion protocol. Worthy is a dart throw that you don't want to fully invest in for Friday's game. Ertz, it's okay. There's nothing crazy exciting about it. Addison would be my choice if we're hearing that Tillman is not going to clear concussion protocol. So at least you can give that a couple of days before you have to make that decision.
Exactly. And we'll know, like if he's not cleared by Friday, he's not going to get cleared. That's the way that typically goes there. So I would play Addison if he's not going. Kate Watts wants to know, hi from Skull Crushers, Kate. What's up?
See, it's so funny. We see like a Discord name, right? And now all of a sudden we're putting a real name to it.
That's fun.
What's up, Kate?
Thanks
for chiming in.
He just says, you helped me remain in first place from week 1 to now. So keep on rocking. Let's go. No reason to stop now. We're going to take them down. We're going to take them down. Pick 2 RBs, 1 tight end. Monty, Chuba, then they have Pacheco and Hunt. So 2 RBs from Monty, Chuba, Pacheco, Hunt.
What a terrible situation to be in, because I don't think Monty gets a full snap share. He wants to play, but
it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary, right? With the shoulder.
It's unnecessary for him to be playing. It's a run funnel defense against Chicago. Like, I get it. You want the revenge game narrative of going up against your old team again. But I like Detroit. This is one of those times where Dan Campbell needs to just say, you know what? I got to do what's right for the team, and not needing Montgomery to play a full snap share concerns me. So, maybe he gets 25% of the carries instead of 50% of the carries, whatever the case may be. I'm a little nervous about that. So, Chuba's getting the workload still, whether they're winning or they're losing. And I actually think that Carolina might make this, kind of like they did with the Chiefs. I think they might make this game against Tampa Bay a little bit more competitive. And that would keep Chuba in there, especially when you're talking about this is Dave Canales' old team. What's he going to do? So I would do that. And then it's probably going to be Pacheco over Hunt, just based on what I'm hearing through practice reports and stuff like that Pacheco might be getting that full clearance for Friday's game.
Yep, absolutely. And we got to let go of some of the preconceived notions from earlier in the year where it's like Panthers are terrible, Titans are terrible. These teams have been playing better as of late. They have. And some of the good teams, as we see guys get hurt and fall by the wayside, some of these teams aren't as good as they once were, right? Like the Saints were awesome earlier. Remember how good the Saints were when they had Shaheed and Olave and Kamara? Like they were good. And then now they're terrible.
Back in the day.
Back in my day, those days, sweet September. But you got to make adjustments as we move along and things change. So got to make those adjustments. Next one here. Oh, and then they also had a Pitts versus Disley question. I might have to recuse myself here just because I cannot personally. If this was my team, I would start Pitts. I don't care.
If it were my team, I would probably start Pitts too, but you're dealing with Derwin James.
Right.
They're going up against each other. So you're dealing with Derwin James and, traditionally, Falcons are middle of the road against the tight end. Chargers are much better against the tight end.
The power bomber, Derwin James.
Right. I mean, that's my concern. That is my concern.
If you just want the floor play in PPR, which is what it is, then go Disley. But
yeah,
I just like Pitts, he has 3 40+ yard plays this year. So if you feel like you need the extra juice, that's the guy that's going to make a big play, or he's going to completely let you down, that's exactly what he does. Joshua K with an actual question here. Superflex, Goff, Stroud, Wilson, Lock. Need 2 of those.
Goff, Stroud, Wilson, or Lock. Need 2. All right, I'm going with Goff and Stroud.
Agreed.
I mean, listen, Jared Goff. I get it. You're going to want to run on the on the Chicago Bears, and they will. But I think he's still going to be able to have himself a rock solid game for that. CJ Stroud. I love this matchup. I've got CJ Stroud actually as one of my must starts for this week, because this is that get right game. This is that get right game. This is okay. We know Mixon's the man and he'll get, his work, but give me this matchup here against the Jaguars and let CJ Stroud get back to normal with Nico Collins and Tank Dell and even Dalton Schultz. I like in this matchup. So I'm not going to trust Russell Wilson, who could start losing some red zone touches to Justin Fields. And I'm definitely not going to try Drew Lock against the Cowboys here. That's not happening.
No, it's like with Russell Wilson and Derek Carr, if anytime there's a gadget QB that comes in the game, you have to downgrade those guys a little bit. Yeah. You have to, because it's the most important part of fantasy football, the red zone. Then you got RB and a flex, Monty Irving, Dowdle, Flowers, Hawk.
Monty Irving,
Dowdle, Flowers, Hawk.
Dowdle, Flowers, and Hawk. And he only needs one?
He's a running back.
And a flex. Irving and Dowdle. There you go.
Irving and Dowdle. Yep. Flowers. Yeah. I think it's got to be the running backs.
I think so too. I mean, listen, we know that Bucky Irving running up against Carolina is a great spot. It's definitely a great spot. Even though there's the presence of Rachaad White and the presence of Sean Tucker, you still got to lock down Bucky Irving in this matchup. Dowdle, listen, he's going up against the Giants, who ranked 29th in DVOA against the run. And it's, we've got Cooper Rush. They're establishing it, right? What did Dowdle have, 19 carries against Washington last week? He's seen double-digit carries over the last 4 or 5 games. So, I don't love the player, but I'm going to use him ahead of Monty with a 25% snap share or Flowers, who, probably is more floor than ceiling.
Yep. Fully with you on that. And again, it's half PPR, which is not a great format for Flowers, honestly.
Yeah.
2 more questions, and then we're back. Now we're live where we can put them on the screen. So Angie was in here early with a little gobble gobble hashtag family full PPR. Stevenson, Ramondre Stevenson, Juwan Jennings, or Moon Boy when he first came back.
Well, I mean, listen. The good thing is that if Moon Boy's playing, then that's my pick.
Yeah,
right.
Has
If
to be,
he's
right?
if he's healthy, that's my guy. If he's not healthy, and he's limited or whatever, then I'm actually gonna go with Stevenson instead of Jennings.
Mhm.
I just
Yeah.
think it's a better matchup for him, and he will see the volume.
It's volume thing, yeah, and it's like whether Purdy plays or not, whether he plays with a hurt shoulder, it's just hard to trust that.
Yeah.
Eric is in here before the show with a last one before we get to the live questions, and is Gus Edwards on the bench? Vidal is on waivers. Would you guys roster both to see what happens? We need a little more info there, Eric. Always need to know who you're dropping, because if you're going to drop somebody like Chris Brooks or something, then yeah, go right ahead. But if
Right.
you're going to drop somebody that's actually useful and could potentially start for you either next week with all the bye weeks or down the stretch, then don't do it. So let us know who you're dropping, because I'm not opposed to something like that. We got to know who you're dropping. All right, we got the gang in here. A little
All right,
happy.
Before we
Thanksgiving.
continue, a little happy Thanksgiving. We want to also just let you guys know, because you see the ticker going across the bottom, right? And it says Black Friday. Even if top there, right? The little QR code right up here. This one. I got it? I got it.
Got it.
That one there. We're running Black Friday special all week. Screw just Friday. It's like the whole week here. Take $100 off of the annual. And as Coop and I were talking about it yesterday, so zap that QR code or just go to fantasyalarm.com/Black Friday. Use the promo code BF24. That's going to take $100 off of the annual. It's not available on the monthly package. So when you do go over there, make sure that you're looking at the annual. But what that does for you here, oh, look at that.
Forget that tiny little QR code. We got the big boy.
Is that the big Mamba Jamba one? Look at that.
The classy one that Johnny and Pemba made for everybody. Look at that. It's like I feel like it's an invite to like a black tie party.
It is. But as we talked about yesterday, this is probably the ideal time to get this, because not only are you going to get everything, right? Season long DFS betting, Discord access, be our best friends, all that fun stuff there, draft guides, cheat sheets, everything that we do at Fantasy Alarm, you'll get that. But by the time that your subscription is up, we're probably going to be running another Black Friday special again. So
we'll be back.
You're getting it at a ridiculous discount, and then you're putting yourself on a great cycle to maintain that discount each and every season.
Exactly. And if you have people that tuned in, like, during the off-season shows for football, because we do this all year round, if you're wondering how, like, when we do these drafts and we're talking about Icy Through and Obi-Wan and Jerry and all these guys, that's how you get into those drafts with us. It's all family members. We just go in the Discord and we say who wants to play this week, and we always make sure to get the people that haven't done it recently in first, and then we let Jack Straw and all the hyenas in after that. They know the deal. So we always make sure to get the new members in first. So get set up with that, and we'll get you rocking, and we'll win some leagues, because that's what we do here at Fantasy Alarm. All right, let's check in on just a couple, because there's so many happy Thanksgivings. I love Thanksgiving, man. It is the absolute best. Most of my work for Thanksgiving is done today, bringing the baby with me. That's pretty much my only job. Once I get there, dude, it's all food, it's all fun, it's all football, and it's all family. It's just the best. So happy Thanksgivings in here from Jerry, from Birdie, from Ann, from the whole gang. And then we have a bunch of questions after that. So Howard, do you want to get to a couple more questions, or should we at least talk about these games tomorrow? Maybe give a couple underdog picks real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's do it. I mean, let's start off. Detroit, Chicago. That's your appetizer. Right? It's a nice appetizer. I mean, we've kind of talked about it, really, with the sense that, like, the biggest question mark about this game is what's Montgomery's snap share going to be. On the Bears side of things, listen, I like Keenan Allen. Again, we've seen him since Thomas Brown took over as the offensive coordinator. Keenan Allen is suddenly getting a 29.1% target share. He's leading the team in targets. Caleb Williams has been much more efficient. What has he got? Like a 68 or 69% completion rate over these last couple of games. I'm going to lean on Keenan Allen. I'm going to lean on Roschon Johnson too over DeAndre Swift. I think that they trust Roschon Johnson more than they trust DeAndre Swift at this point. So on the Bears side, I like me some Keenan Allen. I like me some Roschon Johnson. On the Lions side, I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs is an absolute stud, but I'll tell you the guy who I'm really locking into every lineup is Jameson Williams. Jalen Johnson's going to be paying more attention to Amon-Ra St. Brown. We know that's a fact. Bears are ranking Bears are ranking 31st in DVOA against the opposing wide receiver 2. I'm telling you, man, J-Mo is going to be going off for Thanksgiving. No crotch grabs, but he's going to go off.
Yeah, that's the old. It's a tribute. It's a tribute, Howard, to the great
Michael Jackson.
Well, it's a tribute to the Beast Quick, to the great Marshawn Lynch. Yes, Michael Jackson as well. He got fined like 20 grand for that. I'm not sure.
He should. Listen, Marshawn Lynch is a piece of crap, so I can't,
There you go. Fantastic.
Have I ever told you my Marshawn Lynch story?
I think you have about the. Oh yeah, absolutely. Though about the
bum rush and security at the club.
Yes, but you have to tell everybody in the here now because they might not have heard it.
He bum rushed. So there was conflict between DJ Mustard and who is the other one? It was I don't remember who Marshawn Lynch's Mr. Fabs. So DJ Mustard and Mr. Fabs were beefing over some potential stolen beats. And Mr. Fab and Marshawn Lynch are good friends from their days back here in the East Bay. And they showed up at the club while DJ Mustard was on stage and he was performing. And Marshawn Lynch helped bum rush our security. This is the club that my wife and I used to own. They bum rushed our security and got on stage so that Mr. Fab could punch out DJ Mustard during the middle of the show. And I broke the story. I told TMZ, but I didn't have the video of it myself. And then they were like, oh, well, it probably didn't happen. And everybody's denying it. And then literally like a month later, the video came out and it showed Marshawn Lynch not only like getting onto the stage, but being there present when Mr. Fab punched out DJ Mustard.
That's incredible. I mean, if you're going to rush the stage, Marshawn Lynch is the guy you want with you. No doubt about it. Like that's
piece of crap.
Suck
on it, Skittle boy.
But still, I mean, if I'm picking somebody to rush the stage with, he's probably top 5 pick.
He's piece of garbage.
He's garbage. All right. So I mean, in this game, and again for DFS purposes, you got to decide between Sam Laporta or Jonnu Smith. Both honestly pretty good starts. Typically, we would just say go Jonnu, and I do have Jonnu kind of ahead for that. But I'm making a couple of Laporta lineups as well, just because of the matchup with Jalen Johnson. I think it's going to trickle down a little bit to everybody else. So, and Laporta did play 93% of the snaps last week, got 6 targets. I think they want to get him going, so could be a get right game for him.
Would you start Laporta over Mark Andrews this week?
I think I would, just because Mark Andrews with Isaiah Likely went back to being kind of a part-time guy. Both are, I have them both in a tier together, just like the two of them, as in like chasing touchdowns. Like that's what it is that they're talented players. We're looking for touchdowns with those two guys, So anybody that gets consistently can get me 6+ targets, I'll start ahead. But after that, I'm just going to go for Laporta, Andrews, Tucker Kraft, and just hope that they can score on good teams, good players on good teams that just don't have great roles right now. So that's where I live with those guys. Next game, Giants, Cowboys, all of a sudden, close game on paper, 37.5 point over under. If you're in charge of scheduling dinner, this is a game to schedule it during right now.
Oh, is that me screwing it up? My cat's screwing it up, man.
Get this out of here. What is that?
I don't know. I'm going to hide that. There you go. Freaking cat. Get out of here.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, this game to me is a start him if you have to type game. Obviously, you're starting CeeDee Lamb. You're probably going to start Malik Neighbors. The rest of these guys, I mean, Dowdle, solid. Tyrone Tracy, solid. Yeah.
I mean, they're good guys. They're just not premium guys.
Right. Yeah. And keep in mind, folks, so Theo Johnson is still a guy that we like. Obviously Greg Dulcich, they signed him, but he's not going to do anything, especially this week. With Luke Schoonmaker, I would be a little cautious. He did not get the full role to himself. They did split the snaps with Brevin Spann-Ford a little bit. You got, 3 catches for Schoonmaker, 2 catches for Spann-Ford. So he didn't get the full Ferguson role. So he's more of a spot start. And for me, in a week where every team is playing, I'm trying not to start Schoonmaker. So
No.
just be careful with that. Theo Johnson, we like a little bit better because he's getting the full gig. He's essentially, besides the Eagles game, which was like 28-3, he's had 3 catches in every game since September, right? So besides that one kind of, blip, he's had a decent floor. So Theo Johnson better there. And then the night game is a good one. This is the good one. It's Miami, Green Bay in Green Bay. So Green Bay, Howard, has played on Thanksgiving a ton of times, like a huge number of times. But oddly, this is their first time ever having a home game because they typically, when they play the Lions, and the Lions always get a home game, or they'll, be the other game, but they've never been home. So kind of interesting. First Thanksgiving home game for Green Bay, or a very rare one.
Freezing temperatures in Green Bay for the night game there as well, and everybody knows Tua not the be all end all in cold weather. So
Right. Yeah.
just something to keep in mind. Little freezing temperatures.
No Jair Alexander, and I think that Tyreek Hill, after a little squeaky wheel business on Twitter, I think he's going to get some looks here. I think, after, when these guys complain outwardly, they usually get some looks, and with no Jair, he'll get looks. Also, did we mention Devondre Campbell, how he's very good at covering tight ends? He's no longer on the Packers. He's on the 49ers. So Green Bay has been one of the worst teams against the tight end this year. In fact, in DVOA, there's two, obviously the Panthers are terrible versus tight ends, and the Jaguars are terrible versus tight end. Everyone knows that. The Packers are actually third worst in DVOA. They have been not good. So Jonnu Smith is once again on the menu, very much so. And Jalen Waddle, start him if you have to. Why don't we jump in and wrap this up with actually, let's talk about the last game because it's still a holiday slate. On Friday, Black Friday, some people hate it. I'm like, dude, what's the hate? What is the hate about a Friday game? This is beautiful, right? It's 3:00. So if the wife or girlfriend or your husband or your boyfriend, if they want to go shopping, just make sure it's somewhere that's got TVs. That's what I'm doing. We'll go to the rent them outlets. I'll post up over a Tavern in the Square. Go ahead, dude. Go crazy. Shop for exactly 3 hours. So this one, 13-point spread though, Howard. So not much of a rivalry between these division rivals. I love the commercials that go division rivals, Chiefs and Raiders. Dude. It's like the Chiefs have won, 39 of the last 40, some rivalry. But yeah, 13-point spread. It's Desmond Ridder quarterbacking for the Raiders.
No, it's
O'Connell's back. Okay, so it's not.
They're going to activate O'Connell. He's slated to start. They're going to activate him from IR. I don't really know if that does a whole hell of a lot. Maybe it gives a little bit of a boost, but since we're talking underdog fantasy, or we're going to be talking underdog fantasy, I worry about this passing attack for the Raiders. I mean, as much as I love Brock Bowers, his receptions prop is at 6.5 right now. So
why don't we jump in right now and do that then while we're talking about it?
All right,
there you go.
Let's do it. There it is. Brock Bowers under 6.5, lower than 6.5 receptions. I just, he's gone under 6.5 in each of his last 3-4 games. You could say that that's all Desmond Ridder, but it's not. It's just not a great offense. Ridder hasn't been great. O'Connell, he's fine, but it's just not a great matchup here. The Chiefs, we talk about the fact that the Chiefs have given up as many, fantasy points to the tight end as they have. But if you look at their DVOA, they've gone from 31st in DVOA back in I think it was week 3 or week 4, where they were 31st in DVOA against the tight end. And now they're 14th, 15th in DVOA. So they have kind of clamped down a little bit. And I think that when you're looking at this matchup, it's Jacoby Myers and it's Brock Bowers. Those are the two guys that you have to watch out for the most. I think Steve Spagnuolo is going to be able to, kind of scheme everything appropriately to shut them down. So,
right,
kind of not into the Raiders on this one here.
That's a huge number too, 6.5, right?
Yeah.
Because 6 is a good game, if you start them, you're not going to be upset with 6. So setting that number at 6.5 is crazy. For me, for Thanksgiving, and folks, if you want to join us, go over to fantasyalarm.com/underdog, or just use promo code ALARM over there. They'll match your deposit up to $1,000, 50% of whatever you deposit up to $1,000, and you'll get a 99% off pick, which is awesome. They're basically freebies. They'll say oh, LeBron James, his number for points is set at 30. We're going to set it for you at 0.5. where he basically scores 1 point. So that's what they do for you. But in honor of Thanksgiving, Howard, we got to bring back our favorite, the fan favorite. It's the tackle monster.
It's the tackle
baby.
monster.
It's the tackle monster. And guess what? We have one of our favorite tackle monsters playing tomorrow in Quay Walker. And it's a great matchup for Quay because Jonu's getting targets and Devon Achan's getting targets. And this team likes to run, and it's going to be cold. So he's going to be running around all over the place. And outside of the game where Quay left with an injury, which was the Texans game, these are his tackles, his combined tackles last few games. 7, 8, 12, 11, 9, right? It said high. It said at 8.5, but Quay Walker is an absolute beast. And I tweeted this out earlier. It is the funnest thing, especially if you have little cousins and nieces. We did this all last year. Is I tell them, because I got money on it, and I go, that's our favorite player, number 7 in the green. And every time he's out there, we're cheering for him to get the guy. So me and my little cousins all game last year, we're going, get him. Ah, and the kids are like, did we get him? I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it counted. He got like a hand on it. You know what I mean? So I'm like keeping him updated on the stats. So it's fun for the whole family. Quay Walker, tackle monster, higher than 8.5. And again, hit that QR code if you want to get set up over at Underdog. Howard, let's just jump back into the chat. It is a holiday. We got to spend it with the family. Let's hit some questions. And let's maybe do a little rapid fire. Not full rapid fire, but we're on fire here.
Okay.
Joshua K, half PPR. I have AJ Brown, Lamb, Flowers at wide receiver, McBride, Hawk, Disley at tight end. Collins owner won't trade him, but he's open to his neighbors for Hawk. Should you do that?
Sure.
Immediately. I would. I think I would immediately. Because you have McBride, and McBride's already had his bye week, right?
Yeah.
And worst case scenario, you still have Disley. Birdie wants to know 12-team half PPR. Start 4 out of Tyreek, T. Higgins, JSN, DK, Bucky, Debo.
Tyreek is number 1. T. Higgins is number 2. DK Metcalf over JSN for me, and then Bucky Irving.
I'm starting JSN still. I'm going with the first 4 there, Howard. But JSN,
you're going with both. You're going both Seahawks receivers.
I'm loading up on it, yeah. Because
Okay.
JSN, I've been looking at it, Howard, and he's been good with and without DK playing. He's surpassed Tyler Lockett in snaps. He's wide receiver 8 in PPR on the season. Like, this guy's putting up points, and I think that a guy like JSN in this setup, the current setup with the Ryan Grubb and Tyler Lockett kind of taking a seat on the back burner, I love DK, but I have JSN also ranked very high. I think both these players are great, so I'm going in on it. I'm going in. DJ Salu wants us to know, hey guys, happy Thanksgiving. May, Caleb, or Russ? And then we have a tight end question.
May, Caleb, or Russ? I think I would probably go with Caleb in this one here. They're making him, he's a little bit more efficient. It's not a great secondary for Detroit. He's utilizing his wide receivers properly. He doesn't have the rushing upside that Drake May has, but I still just think that, Caleb Williams in a matchup against Detroit on Thanksgiving, he's going to want to sling the rock.
Yeah, and Russ has the issue with, Justin Fields. And, Drake May, I do rank May ahead of Russ, but he just hasn't been playing at a high level. That's all it is, you know what I mean? So I'm with you on that. And Detroit plays so much man-to-man that they really ask their corners to do a lot, right? And Terrion Arnold, I think, is actually going to miss this game. So they're at these corners.
That might be addition by subtraction. He does not look good.
Well, their grades are terrible because they ask them to go man-to-man every play. And because of that, the grades for the safeties are incredible. And the safeties get to make all these awesome plays, but the corners get put on an island. It's really not a fun job. For 0.25 PPR, Garrett Wilson, Stevenson, Ladd, or Chubb? That is a tough question.
0.25 PPR, Garrett Wilson, Stevenson, Ladd McConkey, or Chubb. Ooh, that is a tough one there.
That is tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's
First of all,
either Wilson or Ladd McConkey for me, and I'm probably going to lean more towards McConkey, actually.
Yeah.
Tougher cornerbacks in Seattle, right? Witherspoon is there.
Tariq Woolen. Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't trust Aaron Rodgers either. I think he's a piece of crap.
I can't get beyond not liking that format. 0.25 PPR.
0.25 PPR.
You got to put in
you might as well just play standard though. I mean, come on, that's a bit much.
Put in points for first downs or something. Yeah, but I'm going Ladd. He's been very good. Need one wide receiver and a flex in PPR with tight end premium. D Hop, NWI, ETN, or Hunter Henry.
I'm going D Hop and Henry in this one. I
Nice.
love NWI, but the problem is that he only sees like 3 or 4 targets per game. He doesn't see a heavy target volume. He just happens to be getting into the end zone nicely, which is great and all. But if you're talking tight end premium, you got to get Hunter Henry in there in an absolute fantastic matchup. I mean, this dude's seen 17 targets over the last 2 games. So
it's tight end premium, yeah. And with Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, I can promise you guys that there will be a game coming up here where he catches 2 passes and neither are a touchdown, and we all
32
go,
yards and nothing else.
And we all go, that's why he was on the waiver, right? It's like he's a perfect streamer because he's got that touchdown equity where you say, okay, I just need something. I need somebody that can give me something, right? Like that's the perfect guy because the matchups are going to be good, and he's got the red zone prowess, but it's not a guy you want to trust week to week. And this is his worst matchup the rest of the season. It only gets better for here. Is Drew Lock better for Neighbors? I personally truly believe so.
Yes, he is. 100%.
Is Mark Andrews okay to drop if I've got McBride? I think I'd rather hold on to a lotto ticket, RB Handcuff, Braylon Allen, or Ray Davis. I would take a peek, Birdie. Just make sure you're not like make sure that the guy that's in first place in your league doesn't have everything except a tight end. But if most of the competitive teams have tight ends and they're not going to start Andrews either, you don't have to hold them. Right?
Yeah.
Just make sure you're not like helping somebody that desperately.
Yeah, just don't gift a top 3 or 4 team a tight end.
Just check. I would check on that first. Hunter Henry or Auden?
I like Henry this week.
Yeah, it's very close. Auden, it does stink that Mike Evans is back, but he has one of the best possible matchups. So that one is very close. I do like Henry. And then Kincaid or Disley. We already said Disley on that one. Can't trust Kincaid coming back here. Good morning from Edmonton, Canada. What's happening, man? When is Canadian Thanksgiving? It already happened, right?
I don't remember.
You're part of the family, so you get to celebrate with us. Toronto Dave, you also get to celebrate with us. He says, what a great intro. That was when I was stumbling because I had 10 different YouTube things playing in my ear at the same time.
You're at the same time.
TD, you're a rascal, dude. Half PPR, Monty, CMC, Chuba, Tracy, blah, 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 blah. Anyone who didn't recommend to start. I mean, I don't know if I get the question, Two Shocks.
I don't really get this question here. I mean, half point PPR, running backs, Monty, CMC. All right, so if you're starting, 2 running backs, CMC and Tracy here, or CMC and Chuba here, probably that realm there. And then wide receivers, if you're taking, 2 out of these guys, Evans and McConkey, right? And then
I might start London. London's been good.
You're going to end up with a flex play also, or 2 flex plays.
Yeah, they're all going to be in there. You're right.
So, here you go. So if it's going to be CMC and Tracy, right? Let's just say CMC and Tracy, and then Evans, and you can just say Evans in London. That's fine with me there. Tight end, I like Jonnu over Cade Otton. And if you've got 2 flex plays here, I'd probably give a look to McConkey and I'd probably go Monty just for the possibility of a touchdown there.
Yep, for sure. Happy Thanksgiving, guys, from Fatty. Mile High Luke not getting ahead of himself. Happy hump day. So celebrating today. We got all day tomorrow to celebrate tomorrow. Need 2 in PPR. ETN, Pierce, Watson, Noah Brown.
Oh, Jesus.
Watson not that bad though with Romeo Dubs out, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be very curious to see what happens. Like, where's Jalen Ramsey? I know Kendall Fuller's out. I'm a little bit more bullish on Dontavian Wicks than I am Christian Watson, because when either Watson or Dubs is out, his snap share goes from 40% to 76%, and that's what we're kind of eyeballing there. I think I go ETN and Noah Brown in this matchup here. That's where I'm kind of leaning.
I'm definitely not starting Alec Pierce. I
not either.
Yeah, that's one. I think I would go ETN and Watson. Noah Brown has been fine, but I'm in on Watson for this week. Okay. Happy Thanksgiving, football leave. What's up, Scamps? Thanks for popping in. Ani Coop from the other room. She's here helping out with Laney. So shout out to Ani Coop. Birdie flipped Hunt for Tyreek back.
Why isn't Ani Coop like busted in through the door here with Laney? Where are they?
Well, Laney's doing nap time, but Ani Coop, pop in, say what up.
Right, open the door.
If you feel like it, she never knows. She's always helping out around the house, so she's probably up to something. Flipped Hunt for Tyreek back in week 9 to the tilted Tyreek owner, hoping he can get going.
Oh, I like that. Good move, Birdie.
Yeah, love it. Brunch, what's up, dude? 0.5 PPR, pick one. Tony Pollard, Devontae Adams, or Taysom Hill.
Yo, son of a bitch. Did you see the quote today?
No,
where was the quote? Where this quote was something.
It was a Taysom Hill quote, I imagine.
Darren Rizzi says Taysom Hill is quote unquote a huge part of the team's offense.
That's great. I'm still starting Devontae Adams. I don't care. I'll go down with the ship.
Yeah, it's Devontae Adams for me as well.
If you start Devontae over CeeDee Lamb, nah, CeeDee Lamb is still getting peppered.
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb's going to get – I mean, listen, the Giants' pass coverage is not strong at all. So I think that you're looking at a situation where they're going to have to just force feed targets to CeeDee Lamb on Thursday.
Yeah, Mile High Luke not feeling good. Feel better, man. You got to put some gravy on that. It'll be all stuffing and gravy. I'll bring you right back. Cold in Green Bay tomorrow. I wonder if Miami is ready for the challenge. Probably not, knowing that crew. Need 2 in PPR. Gus, Shep, Tolbert, Butte, Pitts, and no tight end premium for this one.
Gus and Pitts for me. Even though it's not tight end premium, I think you've got the upside there of Kyle Pitts and a potential shootout back and forth with Atlanta and the Chargers. Shepard I can't rely on. Tolbert I can't rely on. And Butte he didn't get the targets that he was supposed to get. And
no, he didn't.
When his prop goes higher than 2.5 receptions, then maybe I'll eyeball it there. But no right. J.K. Dobbins means we're riding the Gus bus. And
last time I jammed on the Kayshon Butte 2.5 receptions, it didn't hit, and I was very sad.
That was this past week. It really bummed me out.
It was also 2 weeks ago. Or 3 weeks ago, whatever it was.
3 weeks ago.
Full PPR, please pick a flex and tight end between Njoku, Taysom, Sutton, Neighbors, DJ Moore, Stevenson, and Dowdle. Very happy Fantasy Alarm member. Thank you for supporting us, and we support you right back by answering these questions. Flex and a tight end.
I mean, I don't know how you sit Sutton with the way he's playing right now. So this dude's averaging like 10 targets a game over the last 4 weeks.
All right. And Njoku and Taysom, really, that depends what type of player you are.
Just put Taysom in.
You can put Taysom
in. Feel dirty. Feel disgusting about it, Josh.
You can put Taysom anywhere in the rankings. But I will say this, judging by the number of good options he has available that are on his bench, this is probably a pretty shallow league. So upside wins the day. So go upside with Taysom. PPR, Pitts or Ertz, half PPR. If it was full PPR, I think it would be Ertz right away. Half PPR, probably a little closer. I think I'd probably still go Pitts then.
All right, Pitts it is.
Chicken a 14-team tight end premium. He's going to save my season, right? Well, if he shows up at 51 minutes into the game again to score a 70-yard touchdown, and then the Mud Dogs win the Bourbon Bowl, then yeah. I mean, his schedule is good down the stretch, but just I don't know what it is. They only like throwing that guy flea flickers. Casey's kick doesn't go. You like what? So Spencer Schrader's now hurt too.
Is Schrader hurt?
I mean, Casey's kicker doesn't go, so now Schrader might be banged up. McPherson, Koo, Romo, or Aubrey.
I'll go Koo in a dome stadium in a game that has like a 48.5 over under. I know that he's been roughed up a little bit lately, but yeah,
he'll get right. He's a good player. He's missed a few bad ones though.
Yes, he definitely has.
Need 2 in PPR. Najee, Waddle, London, McLaurin.
London and McLaurin for me.
Let me just say, Howard.
No, don't.
Let me say one thing. Not on this question, the previous question. There is probably there are very few stats I care less about than last week's missed field goals. Like when I sit down at this desk to do my analysis, the hierarchy of what stats are important to me, that one's at the very bottom. Like I just don't
That
care.
makes sense.
I do not care.
That tracks.
I'm with you on that one. Albert, what's up, brother? Thanks for popping in. We're only 10 minutes into the question, so we got to fly here. Let's go. Now we are to official super rapid fire, one word answer if possible mode. Conservative level for Stroud, minimal this week.
Minimal.
Richardson, Stafford, or May on waivers? No, go Stroud.
Stroud.
Tackle monster bet and was ahead of herself. That is our pick. See where you can find Quay Walker. To be honest, I just like in this particular week because
What just happened to one word answers?
Sorry, just real quick though. for me, that's the one that I truly believe in and I really like to make money. But I'm gonna find a linebacker in each one of these games and bet the over because it's so funny with my little nephews being like, get him. Harrison or Neighbors, Howard, wake up.
Oh. Harrison this week. I love his matchup.
Yep. 1 QB, Stafford and A-Rich. What QB to drop out of Purdy, Stafford, A-Rich?
Which QB do I drop? I guess
drop Richardson and save yourself that pain and just play matchup.
Purdy and Stafford. Yeah.
Play matchups between Purdy and Stafford.
There you
4
go.
kids, 4 cats, and we foster puppies. Also 3 fish tanks. There's your zoo. That's going to be that's a crazy house for the must be tackle monster every day around there. Tackling puppies and foster kids.
Goddard or Ertz? I'll probably lean on Goddard. When I was doing some research, his name popped a little bit more than Zach Ertz's did. So yeah,
I'm still mad at Goddard for last week. Ertz has been nothing but solid. Okay, I'm going Ertz. Would you drop Ray Davis and Spears to add Gus and Vidal?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd drop one of them to add Gus, definitely.
Yeah.
Ingram or Henry?
Henry.
Yeah. I have Ingram, man.
I don't know if Trevor Lawrence is back.
If Trevor Lawrence is back, I think I like Ingram. But yeah, Henry's my guy. So Kate Watts, thank you guys. Oh, we already did that one. Swift, Brown, but yes, Fantasy Football Bible. Swift, Brown, Tracy, Dowdle, pick 2.
Tracy and I guess I don't really like Chase Brown this week against Cleveland, but I guess you kind of have to go with him.
You do. I think you still do. Thoughts on Vidal? Flex. Hopkins, Pitts, Downs, Tillman.
If Tillman clears by Friday, if it looks like he's going to clear, that's the guy who I want to go with. If not, Hopkins.
Mm-hmm. Moondog or DJ Moore?
Well, Mooney's not healthy right now, and so you don't know if he's going to be ready to go by tomorrow, so you have to go DJ Moore.
Right. That's the thing. Unless they say Mooney's a full go sometime before kickoff, then go Mooney. But if they don't, you just have to start DJ Moore. Unless you have a really good pivot, but you probably don't if you didn't mention him. MVS, Leggett, Hopkins, or Nick Westbrook-Kine. So we start 3.
Start 3 in a standard league? I'm sitting Leggett.
Yeah, standard league is where NWI. He's like what is he like? Over the past 7 weeks, he's probably wide receiver 4 in standard. Charlie Kohler out 4 weeks with a broken arm. Not a huge problem. Droppable bench. Who do I drop to pick up Edwards? Drop Nick Westbrook-Kine to pick up Gus, or McNichols to pick up Gus. Drop any of those players to pick up Gus.
Well, yeah. If you have if Disley is your second tight end, drop him.
Yep. Lockett or Elijah Moore?
Elijah Moore.
Yeah, Lockett's been boring.
It's against Cincinnati, and they've been terrible against the pass.
Yeah, Moore at least has led his team in targets one of the past few weeks. QJ, aka Dead to Howard, Devonta Smith, Kincaid, Henry. Just need one. It's tight
end premium. Give me Hunter Henry.
Yeah, he's locked in, man. He's been getting targets. Elijah Moore or McNichols?
Well, this one you're going to have to wait and see. I'll use McNichols if and only if both Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler are out. If one of those guys plays, i.e. if Brian Robinson plays, then I immediately pivot to Moore.
Yes, and those are Sunday and Monday games, so you can wait. Kicker question. Sanders, Bass, Gonzalez. Also play Hunt and Pacheco. Just start Tyler Bass.
Yes, Tyler Bass. That's fine.
Don't mess around with because it's going to be cold in Lambeau and kicking in the cold kind of stuff.
I'm not going to use Hunt and Pacheco, by the way. Not together. even
No.
though it's against the Raiders. I'll use one. Or can you go back to that one there? Pacheco, if not Myers or Dell, and Hunt or Pacheco. So you just have to wait and see. I think Pacheco is going to probably log more snaps, more touches on Friday. If that's the case, then that's the guy you want in there. And then, I would probably lean on. I'd probably lean on Tank Dell this week.
Okay. Yeah, with Myers, it's like the QB changing all over the place. It's so hard to trust that. And it's not a good matchup. Herbert, but he had a bad matchup last week and he had 126 yards. Herbert or Burrow this week?
I think I'm going Herbert here against the Falcons. I mean, Burrow, it's a tough secondary in Cleveland, and I don't know what the weather's going to be like Monday in Cincinnati.
Yeah, and Herbert's been good. Both of them have been good, but Herbert's been really good. Who steals beats? They're gross. Oh, that's not beats. I get what you're doing there.
Yeah.
Pick 2 to stash out of Ray Davis, Jonathan Brooks, Braylon Allen, Jordan Mason.
2 to stash. I'm going to stash Brooks and I'm going to stash Allen.
Mm-hmm. Half PPR, 2 of Neighbors, Wilson, or Addison.
Neighbors and Wilson. Go New York, go New York, go.
FFPC, so it's tight end premium. Flex 2. Tracy is in one of the spots. Then the other one's going to be one of Devontae Adams, McConkey, Gus, Vidal, or Pitts. Wow.
Going to go Devontae Adams.
Agreed. He's getting the targets, and he will catch them at some point. Pick 2 for flex position this week. DJ Moore, Taysom, Thielen, Chubb, Braylon. If Hall doesn't play, because Hall, Brees Hall showing up on the injury report all of a sudden, and possibly not a go. So,
if I'm picking 2 here, I'm picking Moore and Hill.
Yep. You're starting Daniels over Knicks versus Cleveland and Stafford versus New Orleans.
Jaden Daniels over. Yes, I
have Daniels over. Yeah. And I have Bo Nix ahead of Stafford.
There you go.
Chat. Jonnu Disley Ingram.
Jonnu.
Yeah, he's been very good right now. Would you trade Amari Cooper for Bucky Irving?
Sure. I mean, if I have wide receiver depth, why not?
Seems like a very fair trade. Hey, the Twitch gang's in the house. Blondie.
Oh, shit.
Chubb or Swift? Twitch glasses for the Twitch gang. That's a very difficult question there.
I'm going with Chubb.
Yeah. He's at least getting the goal line work. Roshan is kind of the goal line back. Stinks. Half PPR Hawk for his Neighbors trade. Would you trade Neighbors or Irving or Dowdle?
Would you trade Neighbors over Irving or Dowdle? I mean,
I would keep Neighbors and let him take either one of those running backs.
Yeah.
0.5 PPR. Need 1 QB, 1 wide receiver, 1 RB. Murray or Herbert for QB?
Herbert.
Yep. McConkey, Adams, Mooney for the wide receiver.
Adams.
Yeah. Devontae Adams. I was thinking Adam Thielen for some reason. Hunt, Javonte, or Gus?
Gus.
I like Gus. He's a starting running back. Schrader hurt his ham. There you go. So we're good. We're getting up to rapid fire worked. By gummit, Howard. It worked.
Did we get it?
By God, Howard. It just might work. The rapid fire. We haven't made it all the way, but we're kind of close.
All right, speed it up. Let's do it.
My league has a Taysom rule. He can only be played at QB. Wow, that's the best rule I've ever heard. He does not play tight end. We would allow flex if they remove the tight end.
That's not a question.
Okay, but I still like it. Daniels or Knicks? 4-point passing.
Daniels.
Yep. Chubb, Swift, Hop, Gus. Need 1.
Go Gus.
Yep. Najee, Wandale, or Elijah Moore?
Half-point PPR, I'll use Najee.
Mm-hmm. If Tillman clears, do you think he'll draw Surtain or focus on Judy? Judy plays a lot of slots, so Judy's actually most Surtain proof. Pick 3 from the flex: Monty, McConkey, Chubb, Rashad White, and BTJ. BTJ a much.
I mean, I think I go McConkey and BTJ as 2 guys that I want in there. And
Chuba played a ton last week, right?
Chuba.
Hunt, BTJ, Dowdle, full PPR. Bonus for 100 receiving or rushing. Need Trevor Lawrence for BTJ on this.
Yeah, I'll go. If Lawrence is playing, then BTJ, absolutely.
If he's not, Hunter Dowdle.
You'll get practice reports from Trevor Lawrence and the Jags today. He's slated to practice, so if he puts in a full one, it's wheels up for BTJ.
May, Carr, Jameis or Levis. This is where I give the permission to go with Drake May.
Yeah, you can go with Drake
know.
May. It's either May or Levis. It's one or the other.
Right. Levis has Houston.
Although Jameis against Cincinnati.
No, Jameis has the Broncos.
Oh, Jameis. Oh, yeah. Why? Where was I putting Jameis?
Yeah, Jameis got Broncos, so that's no good. And Carr has a Taysom Hill problem. Dowdle, Tracy, Moore.
Dowdle, Tracy, or Moore? I'm going to go Tracy.
Yes. Ted and Preems, Otten or Pitts?
Pitts.
Yeah, Otten has a good matchup, though.
Yeah, he does. I tell you what, the issue that I had with it, and I was looking at some numbers there, some target share numbers, with Mike Evans in the lineup, 7 games played in the lineup for Mike Evans and Cade Otton, and only once did Otton see a 20% target share. Right. Every other game was well below 20%, as opposed to when Evans was out.
Right.
Otton had more than 20% target share.
So, I mean, and that's the thing, Gary, is that if you're not going to start Otton this week with this matchup, and you're going to start Pitts with his matchup, which isn't good, then you're probably never going to start Otton. So,
all right, so go with Otton then. I like it. That's fine.
But to that point, though, I'm not even saying that it's you have to start him this week. I mean, he plays them again championship week, so maybe just keep an eye on Otton and have him in your back pocket.
All right.
Tyreek or Tracy? Tyreek and Tracy for Puka. It's a trade.
Should I do? I mean, are you giving or getting? Like, that's the thing.
He's giving the wide receiver and RB up.
Yeah, I don't want to give that up. I'm not giving up that for Puka.
I don't want to do it either. Yeah. Okay. Last few questions here. We're gonna just knock them out real quick. These all came in after the 1 o'clock as well. So these are all bonus questions because we love you guys.
All right, well, we got to get going here because we have work to do. So let's do it.
Last 2 questions. Mike Evans, Monty, HN. Need 2.
HN and Evans.
DJ Moore or Metcalf?
Metcalf.
All right. That's it, folks. We're out of here. If you want to get your questions answered and you are after the buzzer, that's okay because the Discord's there. Just pop into the Discord. I'll hang out for a little bit in Coop's Corner after the show right now and answer any questions that any Fantasy Alarm members have. If you want to become a Fantasy Alarm member, use our Black Friday code right now. Get you $100 off. So go over to fantasyalarm.com. Get set up with that. We're out of here. Howard and John will be back for one